Something that sets medieval drama apart from modern theatre was the mobility aspect. These plays would be performed on separate wagons so they could be moved, one after the other, with the actors performing in them. The audience can either stay at one station and watch every play or dip in and out, wandering between the different stations. Medieval dramatic texts that survive tend to fall into three basic types of staging: civic cycles, plays in scaffold, and hall plays. Civic plays were usually outdoors and consisted of multiple episodes performed using professional staging. There, patent wagons, single or multiple story wheeled platforms, moved between set locations or stations in the city or town in which the group was performing, at which each play was to be performed again over the course of the route. Each play in a civic cycle would have been the responsibility of its guild. They were responsible for funding their individual performance as well as the maintenance of the pageant wagon and any stage properties. They were also tasked with finding individuals, often from among their own membership, to perform the play. Plays and scaffold plays are similar to civic plays, but they differ in that they don't need to be inside the town or city, and thus can be found just outside the city walls or in the less urban areas of the city. Instead of employing individual pageant wagons, the performance space was marked with multiple scaffolds, each one represented a concrete location in the narrative of the play. Unlike civic cycles and plays and scaffold display, which were meant for the public, the hall play is solely for the civic, religious, and aristocratic elites. Whereas the civic cycles and scaffold plays were performed outdoors, the hall play, as the name suggests, is performed indoors in the great hall of a guild or aristocratic household, generally as part of entertainment for particular occasions. The acting in medieval theatre was not very complicated, as each guild had to find their own actors for their own play, so for the most part the actors were commoners. In most parts of Europe, acting was forbidden for women, with the exception of France. In the early Middle Ages, theatre was strictly for religious purpose, but as theatre gained more popularity and the style of plays began to vary. What also boosted the expansion of theatre was when Pope Innocent III banned all clergy for performing on a public stage. People liked theatre, and they wanted more of it, so town guilds and traveling companies stepped in to supply for the lack of theatre, but still kept the very religious at the core, while adding a bit of comedy and romance on the side. We can't be sure on who wrote the Bible, since there isn't a single author of any sort of play, especially since tiny details can change depending on where you live and what the local culture is. The very first form of medieval theatre that existed was far from anything amusing, since it was strictly for religious purposes, and it was only after theatre was officially separated from the church that it began to develop into something people could actually enjoy. Theatre was for everyone, from the poorest beggar to the mightiest of kings. While still in the confines of holy texts, later forms of theatre could develop more to comedy or romance, more fit to entertain the masses rather than educate them. But no matter the time period, no matter the style, theatre is fun. Thanks for watching. Shout out to Mr. Mackey for forcing us to do this project.